Ira, did you have your closing?
No, it did not happen. The seller's attorney is an absolute jerk.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. When's it going to happen?
I don't know. The paperwork is on a UPS delivery that I'm now able to track. So maybe today. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, so frustrating.
My sellers hate their attorney. Not my recommendation.
Right, I know. Things go well when they listen to us, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Ira, I don't know if you saw my response to your Facebook post, but I was saying that we have to start using stories like yours and doing that whole feel, felt, found. I understand why you feel you might have the right attorney. I've had other clients that have felt that way. And here's what we found out. At the end, they almost didn't have their closing and they were almost homeless because their attorney was incompetent and didn't handle it correctly. So why don't we do the right thing and choose one of the attorneys I have?
And actually, I'm planning, thank you very much, because I'm planning to do a video about that.
Good.
And put it on YouTube.
Good.
Because this is a horrible experience.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A few years ago, I had a transaction where the buyer on the other side decided to choose an attorney that was an immigration attorney.
Oh.
And my attorney had to take over the entire transaction in the last week, and it still didn't close.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
No, I love it. When I had deals where they would listen to me about who to use as an attorney and who to use as a mortgage provider, that was beautiful.
Yes, so Ira, I'm sorry to hear that.
It will work out. It will work out. I know, but it's just frustration, just horrible.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Ron.
Hello,
hey, Ron.
hello. I got 8:45 on my clock. What do you say we get this party started? Good morning. Good morning. So we just started with a interesting topic even before the buzzer. So I always enjoy talking about that because there are attorneys that are deal makers and there are deal breakers, and there are attorneys that are fault finders, and there's attorneys that are solution finders, and there's attorneys that know what's best for their clients and without even consulting them. And those are not necessarily the ones that we want. Now, it's interesting now because the good ones are kind of, the cream is rising to the top, so to speak, right now.
Absolutely.
What we're going through requires responsiveness. What we're going through requires creativity. What we're going through requires solutions. So it's an interesting topic to discuss. And yes, we need to prepare our clients for selecting a good attorney. It's called an objection, and you need an objection handler for that objection. Typically, I'll have a discussion during the buyer consultation when we're talking about attorney review. Oh, by the way, do you know which attorney you'll be using? So, it's an interesting topic to discuss. We can discuss it further. What I always like to ask is, what can we talk about that will benefit you most? What can we discuss that will help you most? What's on your mind?
Well, in terms of attorneys, hi, Ron, it's Anne Marie. I know with buyers in the past, I recommend attorneys early on in hopes of overcoming that issue. I very much want them to choose a real estate attorney, a good real estate attorney, because that makes such a difference in the deal. So I bring that up very early on with my buyers, and I give them the recommended list of attorneys from Keller Williams, but I don't give them the whole great big long list. I give them like 5. Hopefully they'll choose one of those 5 or call around to those 5 and pick one.
Yeah, and what about the times that they haven't selected an attorney, you have an accepted offer, and now because they're scrambling to connect with the different attorneys and select one, it's not taking 1 day and 2 days and who knows how long. And how does that make the listing agent and the seller feel?
It makes them nervous.
Oh yeah, big time. And if it was
nervous, like, is this buyer serious? How can they be putting in an offer and not have their attorney lined up? That makes the seller very nervous.
Yeah, and I can't find fault in our clients. if that comes up, it's where's our responsibility? Where's our DNA in that
Right.
discussion? So we what could we have done before the accepted offer that would have, you know,
Have them tell us who their attorney is.
Isn't it our responsibility to lay all the ducks in a row first? Like I tell my clients, we can't make an offer unless you have a pre-approval. Also, by the way, do you have an attorney? Because I want this transaction to move smoothly. Let's make sure that everything is set before we wind up running into any kind of a roadblock.
Right.
You know, you're absolutely right. And your traditional agent is not necessarily doing that. And I can tell you that there were times that I didn't do that. That's how I learned the hard way, right? You know, sometimes a good way to learn is the hard way. And that happened to me too. So I've been in that position where, you know, I haven't prepared my clients and they didn't have an attorney selected and we had an accepted offer. Great, who's your attorney info? Oh, we don't have one. We'll find one. We'll get back to you. And I've been in those positions. Not the best position to be in. You know, your anxiety level goes up, both with us, with the buyers, the sellers, the listing agent, all of the above, all the way around. And that's not really what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be lowering the anxiety level of our clients, not increasing them. So
right. Prepare them.
Oh yeah, prepare them and prepare ourselves. Now, can you recommend attorneys if you don't have any to recommend? No, obviously. So, you know, our preparation on our end requires to kind of put a list together of the top attorneys that we prefer to work with, we prefer to recommend. We know that they're going to take very, very good care of our clients. And we also need to prepare how we're going to communicate. And we kind of touched upon it a little bit with that script that David just gave when we opened up. So yeah, when I discuss attorney review, that's when I say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you know, during once we have an executed agreement, we need to send forward to the attorneys. Do you have one? Do you know who you'll be working with? And then, of course, you'll take it from there. And they typically say no. Why do they say no?
Because they're not really serious.
No, most buyers don't have a network of attorneys and lenders and inspectors and plumbers and handymen and electricians and gutter guys and roofers and all that fun stuff. They just don't have it. But who should have it?
Or if they have a network of attorneys, they have the wrong one.
Agents.
Yeah.
To give them recommendations.
Yeah, is that a value proposition to a first-time home buyer? If their agent is prepared and can send them a business card or a name of a contact for whatever they need in two seconds flat.
Right.
Yeah. To me, that's what Keller Williams is all about. Keller Williams outfits us with information to make us look like we are really as good as we are.
I'm in a situation right now, and Ron knows this. I'm in a deal where pretty much everything that I've recommended, I always recommend 3 people they can choose. In regards to the attorney, they chose, I recommended 3. They chose 1 on their own because he was $400. So versus all the $1,200, you know, the typical. So, you know, pretty much they're getting a $400 attorney, and the consequences are, it's getting heavy right now because that's what they're getting. No communication, no, you know, so that's
costing. So
what's your recommendation as far as like when they do choose that $400 attorney, like what would you say to them to that, you know? If you don't know them and they're like, look, I picked an attorney because everyone you recommended was too expensive. Ron, that's a question for you.
On the surface, that may seem like a great strategy to select the lowest priced attorney out there, but in reality, it doesn't really benefit you. Can I share with you why that is?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's the script.
Yes, please. Please do.
Yeah.
Ron, you're right. That is a script. And then Haza, tell them about this particular experience. What happened when someone decided to choose an attorney that was $400, explain the outcome.
Yeah.
You know, you never know how cheap it is to hire a professional until you hire an amateur and then they don't do the job right.
Right.
So that's what I would share.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yesterday before this, you know, after the walkthrough, my sellers asked me, what do I think of their attorney? And this is not someone I recommended. And I said, is your attorney a relative of yours? And they said, no. I said, I do not like your attorney. Your attorney has made me very, very angry through this whole transaction. Your attorney has been an obstructionist. At which point she said, I know, I hate this guy. I said, well, how did you find this guy? And she said, well, the other realtor recommended him. I said, but this is why in the future, when you work with me again, we have great attorneys. Thankfully, we're moving this transaction along, but this attorney hasn't responded to any emails. He's never responded to phone calls. I've had more conversations with the other attorney who's been complaining about your attorney. So I promise you, we will get through this. And she said, well, I want to blast him. I said, no. Stay calm. We have 2 closings for you. Let's get the transactions done, and then you can talk. But right now, let's keep it cool. And he's an immigration attorney, as it turns out.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
So,
Yeah.
So the challenge when it's not a real estate attorney, it's fairly simple to communicate. When they're not real estate attorneys, when they don't do this day in and day out, do they have the writers, the generic writers already prepared? No, they have to create their own. So what does that do to the response? Well, there's a delay. And this delayed response, does that benefit you or hurt you? Well, that hurts you. Okay, so you know, if they don't do this day in and day out, are they going to have the answers to all of the questions, of all the issues that arise, to any problems that arise? Are they going to be able to find solutions for us to help us move forward, or are they going to be more of a roadblock? What do you think? It's you know, we're asking it in a way where it's going to obtain. Oh yeah. So we're increasing awareness level. It's just a matter of asking the right questions to increase that awareness level. It's, you know, so we're not telling. We're just we're asking questions.
Yes, agree.
We're always asking questions.
that's our job.
That's all I've learned so far. We're just asking questions the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you can always go back to you know, the what's important about that to you? Why is it important for you to pay the lowest possible amount? And then let them explain. And then, or you can go to what makes you say that? I love it because I got that from Ryan. And you know, there's different ways that we can dig deeper to kind of isolating the concern and then handling the objection if you don't have a script prepared.
Right.
If you don't have
And
a script
Ron,
prepared, yeah, go ahead.
oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's Anne Marie. I just want to say I've had the other experience too, where I have had my buyer use my favorite attorney. And the good thing about that is I have a good relationship with the attorney, good communication. And this buyer was never getting back to his attorney. It was the opposite problem. So I used to check in with the attorney and say, how's it going? Have you heard from so-and-so? Did he give you X, Y, and Z? And the attorney was like pulling his hair out going, this guy never gets back to me. And I would end up getting on the phone to this guy's wife to say, get your husband to send this over to the attorney today. He needs it today, you know, like professional cattle prodder. Because I had the opposite experience where fabulous attorney, unresponsive client. So I was helping the attorney move things along.
I've had those too.
Yeah.
So,
and it's nice when you have a good relationship with the attorney and you can do that. You are the attorney's ally. You're helping move the deal along. Whatever I can do to help move it along for you, let me know.
we're a team. This is a team effort. Everybody's on the same team. We're not on opposing teams. We're on the same team. You,
right.
The buyers, the attorneys, the lenders, the inspectors. We're on the same team. This is our team. We're going to help you achieve the end result you're looking for, which is you in a home you're going to enjoy for many years to come. This is what is going to happen next.
Yes.
And then,
Ron.
Hey,
Yeah,
Ron,
Ron,
what do you think about when people refer attorneys and like what I do is I usually give a list of attorneys or I tell people to call a specific attorney. And sometimes when people call the attorneys, they'll say, I'm not going to talk to you until we actually get a contract.
Yeah, if that's important to you, that you want that contact between the attorney and the client beforehand, or if the client is the type of client that wants that type of communication, that attorney might not be for them. And that's okay, because there's a lot of good attorneys out there. But we just have to have, that's why you need more than one, obviously. You need, 2, 3, 5, and they'll connect with one for sure. Actually, it's never happened to me that I recommended 3 attorneys and they never came back with a selection. They said, no, we don't like any of them. I don't remember that ever happening to me.
Yeah.
That's never happened to me either, but sometimes like even when like I give them a list of like new attorneys or whatever, some of them will say, oh, I can't talk to you until we actually get a contract.
And that's okay. There's no right or wrong on that as far as I'm concerned. It's just the way they do business. And the client can either be okay with it or not be okay with it. Either way works, because there's another attorney, go next. It's no big deal.
Okay.
Right. And the client still needs to talk to the attorney. A lot of them want to know how much does the attorney cost, before they commit. They need to talk to the attorney and find out, a lot of them are similar, but, they need to do that. And then the attorney's not going to be blindsided when they call them with a contract.
Yeah, we're running out of time, so I just want to make a last note, because I love that, Erin. Let's use a different kind of story with this. If you did not have the chance to talk to your sellers at all, no interview, no conversation, and and they were presented with, hey, there's 2 different listing agents. One will do it at 6%, one will do it at 5%. Which one do you want to work with? No additional information at all. What are they going to choose? And a lot of times we're putting the attorneys in that position where we're saying, okay, this attorney, we're saying this attorney charges $1,000, this attorney charges $1,200, this attorney charges $1,500. Who would you like to work with? Because they didn't talk to them. The attorney needs to communicate their value proposition. The attorney needs to make that connection. The attorney needs to build that rapport. When we're talking about conversion, well, it's no different with attorneys than it is with agents. Only attorneys don't typically have those conversations or opportunity to kind of make their case and make that conversion. Buyers typically just go straight off of price. Oh, he's the cheapest, I'll go with him. Just make sure that that cheapest on your list is a really good one.
Right. I never give prices. I never give prices. I just say they're very similar. I never talk about money with the attorneys, with the clients, if I can help it.
Yeah. They might ask, and then you say, they range between whatever range and whatever range, because the attorneys change. I've had attorneys change prices on me. So so that's happened before, and when something unexpected happens, like it's something that you didn't expect, like if a client expects it to be $1,200 and then the attorney charges them $1,500 on at closing, and then they're like, hey, didn't you say it was XYZ? And that's why we don't want to necessarily name prices, because they might change it on us. So we are in overtime. I apologize. Any last words, thoughts, concerns, advice you want to share with the group?
Keep at it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for participating, for joining us today. We will see you tomorrow. I want to wish everybody a great Wednesday, a great day. Be healthy, be well. Let's get to work.